Hey, how are you? You probably haven't heard of me, and if that's the case, hi, I'm Moose, a prospective Honkai Star Rail content creator. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for quite a while. It's quite a bit different from the content that I usually make, since what I make is mostly theory crafting and challenge account gameplay, but it's been on my mind for a while and I want to talk about it. The Honkai Star Rail dev team handles their game so much better than how the Genshin Impact dev team does theirs. This is probably no news to you if you play Honkai Star Rail and are devoted to it as I am. 3 accounts, by the way. But many people still haven't grasped that. Of course, the people I'm talking about are those copers on Reddit, Twitter, and other social media saying that Genshin doesn't need to give a free 5-star because it's quote-unquote so much better. I have many things I wanted to discuss about this topic, and so I'll start from the very top. But again, before I begin, sorry, there's a difference between a good game and a game that you like. No matter what I say, I'll probably not change your opinion of Genshin, because you're probably really devoted to it. And so I was before I started playing this game. But I'm trying to change your opinion of Star Rail for the better. Star Rail being better than Genshin is a win, not a loss. Do keep that in mind. It means that Hoyoverse actually cares about a product they are making. Just because Genshin is not better than Star Rail does not mean that we are bad people that are worse than Hitler that deserve to die. And I really think that Genshin devs need to learn a thing or two from the Star Rail devs. Raiden and Farina are not gonna have sex with you because you defended Genshin. Okay, let's actually begin. First off, I want to discuss the quality of events between the two games. Events in Genshin can be easily described in one word. Horrible. 90% of events in Genshin are Mario Party type mini-games with no real fun factor or replayability. They are horribly time-gated, and even the developers themselves said that they are not fleshed out enough to be replayable. Events with big stories in them are very boring to me, since most of them contain no significant lore. The ones that are actually cool and not boring to me, and that do contain actual lore, are just lost in time because you cannot replay them. Take a look at Star Rail's travel log and you'll notice a button that shows all previous events. Why can't Genshin do that? Don't just chuck it up to mobile storage. Storage can be simply optimized by having the player download and delete whatever content they want or don't. Side events are, in Genshin, very bad. Most of them are again mini-games with no real challenge, no real fun factor, no real replayability, and they don't test your account whatsoever. Go take photo of flower. Go take photo of boar. So fun.
You can collect flowers to get 75 Primo Gems right here.
Most of these events have the exact same formula. Sumura Fontaine researcher has a problem. Go solve that problem by doing something less fun than taking out the trash. No, the characters that you build probably don't matter unless it's a rare combat event that gives you a ton of buffs anyway. Side events in Star Rail, however, are a whole different story. The biggest difference I see is that they are way more combat focused, they don't give you game-changing buffs, and if they do, they are difficult. I can easily clear MOC 10 on my main account, yet the recent Fighting Club event actually left me surprised over how hard it was. I barely cleared it, even with the best buffs that it provided. It was actually fun. Now there are definitely some events that are not combat focused, but they are actually quick and easy to do, and not boring either. The humor in Star Rail is most definitely a lot better than the humor in Genshin. I mean, I say that because I'm 18 and the humor in Genshin is like targeted towards 13-year-olds, but that's besides the point. And that makes the little slices of life so much less boring. Now this definitely sounds a little biased because I'm a self-proclaimed Honkai Star Rail connoisseur with 3 accounts, but I actually made 3 accounts on Genshin too, and every single event was a pain in the ass to do. In Star Rail, it was actually fun replaying the events. By far, my most favorite side event ever was the March 7th photo taking event. Well, hold on. Weren't you just complaining about taking photos in Genshin? Yes, I was. Why? Because it's always some researcher stupid-ass NPC who asks you to go do random stuff that's useless and gives 0 lore. The March 7th photo taking event wasn't only fun, but it actually interacted with the characters that we love, other than just some random stupid NPCs and entities. The little interactions with Hook, Sampo, that cute guitar playing NPC that I find quite adorable, and especially the March 7th messages at the end of each day, you actually feel like you accomplished something. And you actually feel like you did something fun. 90% of me doing that event was me laughing along with what the characters were saying. But 90% of me doing side events in Genshin was me complaining that I have to do them. The March 7th photo taking event was so well done. Now, March is my favorite character in Honkai Star Rail. There's a lot that I relate with her. My biggest fear is forgetting or being forgotten. And taking photos to remember memories definitely resonated with me a lot. So I'm definitely biased there. But Genshin could have done the exact same. It resonated with me just as much by simply using a character instead of some random NPC we couldn't give two shits about. But I think that's it for this section. Not much else I want to add. Star Rail just does events much better than Genshin. They are simply objectively more fun. They have more gameplay, you can actually use the characters you built. The little side events include playable characters and not just NPCs, and the main events are not time gated. Wow! Alright, let's move on to section 2. The gameplay. Now this is an incredibly subjective topic. Some people might enjoy the free style of fighting in Genshin more, while some people might enjoy the turn-based style of Star Rail more. What about me? Despite me being a Star Rail advocate, I actually enjoy Genshin's style a lot more. Except, while it was done well at the start, it wasn't built upon. It was neglected, it was forgotten, there's no endgame, the Spiral Abyss is too little, there are no replayable combat events, artifact domains take 30 seconds to clear, commissions, if you decide to do them, are incredibly easy. You simply don't need to utilize the free style of fighting, and all the reactions that the game actually provides to beat the game. It grows stale quicker than Tectone's Yo Mama jokes. The Dendro update definitely rejuvenated the combat for a while, but it was too little too late in my opinion. Geo is still forgotten, and Anemo still only has Swirl. And, unpopular opinion, Dendro could have been done a lot better. In Star Rail, while the combat is a lot simpler, a lot easier to grasp, and well, turn-based, it is capitalized upon so much better than in Genshin. There's endgame, there's replayability. In the 1.6 update alone, we got one completely new endgame mode and one new endlessly replayable combat event. We also got tons of endgame optimizations. It's almost as if, shocker, the devs actually care about the product they are making. That is definitely something that I missed the feeling of whenever I used to play Genshin. It always felt like the devs could not care less about the product they were making in terms of the combat, at the very least. They flat out said they won't add endgame, and they flat out said they didn't think the combat was very important. And that flat out was one of the reasons I quit a few months after the dev discussion was announced. I simply had no reason to play. Why would I continue grinding in a game that will never reward me for my grind? Right, section 3. The characters. Now we all know that there are a lot of characters in Genshin with questionable gameplay and kits. Not only are there some character kits that are literally broken, there are characters that are simply subpar for no real reason. Take a look at Chi-Chi and Dea. Neither of them have any redeeming quality gameplay wise, but Dea definitely has two massive redeeming qualities design wise. But anyways, as I've said, the devs almost seem like they flat out refuse to fix these characters. The toxic positivity part of the Genshin community always goes on about how the characters don't need to be good because you just need to invest in them enough. I don't care. Look me in the eye and tell me you think playing Amber and Chi-Chi is fun. Because I've tried. Playing a subpar character is not as fun and will never be as fun as playing a good character. No matter how much you like that said subpar character. However, by stark contrast, there are almost no Honkai Star Rail characters with large issues that need fixing that I can name off the top of my head. While there are a couple characters that simply don't do enough damage, like Arlen and Physical main character, it's not like their kits are broken, and it's not like they are a 5-star character who people have been looking forward to for months. Now, you may be looking at Jingyuan, but while he does have some issues, the damage he does is still pretty good. And with the upcoming Pure Fiction mode, I think he's gonna have a big place in the meta. And he might even shoot up a tier or surpass a couple of characters just because of Pure Fiction, even if Hook somehow does more damage than him still. Now, of course, that's just my speculation based on 3 seconds of gameplay we saw on the livestream, but it did look like Erudition may get a resurgence because of Pure Fiction. I'll be speaking about that in a later video though. What's past is past, and I don't think the characters that have... What the hell? Idiots, are you kidding me? Die. Thank you. What's past is past though, and I don't think that the characters that have issues in Genshin will ever be fixed. Just avoid that mistake in the future, Genshin devs. Honestly, it seems like they've been avoiding it so far in Fontaine. Good for them. Section 4. Story. Now, the Genshin story is definitely very deep. Keep in mind that deep doesn't necessarily mean good, but in Genshin's case, it's deep and decent. I used to always say that the Genshin story is better than Star Rail's, but it's not good enough to get me to log in anymore. My opinion, or somehow, seems to be very unpopular. Genshin's story peaked during Inazuma's Archon quest. While it may have felt a bit rushed, it was ultimately very good. We start out in a small island and we slowly get introduced to a bigger and bigger world. We form alliances. After being quite stubborn, we hear the people's wishes and we go to war. Yay, murder. We fight our fight and we end up supposedly killing one of the major antagonists in the game at the time. We exit the fighting ground only to be ambushed by the Electro Arc, but then have our friend block it. This moment of Kazuha blocking a sword was legendary. It was peak Genshin story. Sadly, it dropped off so damn hard in Sumeru. The Sumeru story for me, while it was interesting some of the time, it took way too long to complete and was way too slow. It had some hype moments, but I enjoyed only about 15% of the time I spent doing it. The other 85% was spent spamming through text because they were saying things I probably didn't care about. I don't know. I wasn't listening. Star Rail's story, on the other hand, is not quite as deep as Genshin's, sure. There are all the Aeons and their backstories, their fights, and everything that has to do with them and in and out of the simulated universe. There are of course the backstories of each character and each world we go to, but it still doesn't have as deep an iceberg as Genshin's story. However, I enjoyed so much more. This ties into the last section, it's a bit subjective, but I did not download these Hoyoverse games to watch a movie. I downloaded them to play a fighting game with a captivating story. That is what Honkai Star Rail is. Every boss fight was hype, every hype moment was hype. You can disagree with me, but the Shanjo story was great. Tingyun's spoiler warning was surprising. It was all fun. There was not a single moment in the Honkai Star Rail story I haven't enjoyed so far. And to be fair, it could slow down in 1.6 and 2.0 and so on, but it doesn't show any signs of doing so. In 1.1 and 1.2, the Genshin story was slow as hell. It was all fetch quests for God's sake. The Relo 6 and Shanjo quests were far from fetch quests. They actually had lore that had your curiosity, caught your attention. They were actually filled with combat that challenged you, and if it didn't, it's probably because you're a whale or level 70. It definitely challenged me. I had to use destruction only and hunt only against Ventilia. The shit was toxic as hell. Prevents him from being attacked, but I don't think that exists. And yeah, okay. Another one, okay. Retreat. If he survived, I don't think he's gonna survive this though. Yeah, he just dies. Yeah, that's guaranteed damage that he's got, but that's not guaranteed damage. I want to get Topaz. Wait. Oh wait, never mind, yeah, she... Finally, I want to speak about the generosity of each game. Honkai Star Rail is obviously a lot more generous than Genshin is. Genshin is one of the stingiest gacha games I have ever played, but it literally has no reason to be stingy. It's the biggest gacha game in the fucking world, and the highest fucking earning gacha game in the world. Except all they can muster to give their players for its anniversaries are a mere temple. At first it was 800 primos, but only after 80% of the community actually did something for once, they got off their sorry asses and actually demanded change. Now the change we got wasn't huge, it was just an extra 800 primos, making it a total of 10 wishes, but still. Now I did say 80%, didn't I? That's because there were still some idiots who kept going on about how, oh, I don't need more than that. 800 primos is enough for me. Genshin's already giving me so much content. Shut up, bitch. No, it's not. Have some damn self-respect. This toxic positivity that some of these players have is insane. You gave this company literal billions of dollars, and all you expect is 800 primos at the end of the year. They should be giving out at least a standard character selector every anniversary, but they don't. It's disappointing. And even if they do now, nobody cares because everybody has them at C5 at least. Anyway, rant over, sorry. Honkai Star Rail is more generous, very obviously more generous. For the Game Awards, we got a free limited 5-star who seems to have potential to change the meta. Video about that coming up. While Genshin gave out 800 primos. Yay, so generous. We also get a free temple every single patch. Gift of Odyssey is a great thing to have. Genshin players get that once a year. Now tell me which dev team handles which game better. Honkai Star Rail has better events, objectively. Honkai Star Rail, while it might be a turn-based RPG, handles its combat so much better than Genshin does. The devs actually care about the product they are making. Shocker. Honkai Star Rail story, while not as deep as Genshin's, actually pulls you in because of how exciting and filled with combat, lore, and actual playable characters it is. Now, look at Genshin making random NPCs the villain. Oh no, NPC number 6762 is the villain. How could I have predicted this? So fun. But that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what points you agree with and what points you don't agree with. Honestly, it'll be great if some Genshin nerd wrote 10 essays down in the comments so I could get more publicity and the algorithm pushes me up more. I certainly need it, no? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and share as always. Click one of the videos showing up on your screen and I'll see you there. Bye bye.